Thanks,
you gave a great breakdown to this, Lon, at the time, going back to spring when you were able to get down to Baton Rouge and spend a week or so with the team and Brian Kelly, go to the news conferences, go to practice day after day after day after day. And now, the comparison between spring and summer is in the spring, there's that ease of, we've got months and months till the season. We're not preparing for an opponent. We're working on get into the stance correctly. This is how we want you to get into a stance. This is how, we can break it down to the grassroots and then build out from there. And it's about developing the players. Well, it's still about developing the players, but it's more about you need to understand this scheme because we got Florida State in less than a month and you need to know to be in the right position at the right time. And, it's more about finding out who's going to be needing to get the time at those particular positions. But what you gleaned from Brian Kelly versus what you knew and observed at Ogeron, Les Miles, just give us a feel for a Brian Kelly led outfit.
Man, streamlined. Really like swaggering. Did not expect that. Did not expect Brian Kelly's staff. I expected straight-laced, like almost militaristic vibe. They have a lot of swagger. They don't only want the smoke, they want to create the smoke. They want to be smoking the cigars with Joe Burrow at the end of these championship games, Mark. They want it all, and they've come to the SEC to do that. It's almost like these guys are on a treasure hunt together. This staff, getting to know some of these guys. These guys are amazing people. These guys are amazing people. They're people first, players second. I feel like that wins you championships, Mark. Look at Phil Jackson. He treated those players like people. May not, you can debate all you want about Phil Jackson as a basketball coach, but as a man manager, second to none. Same with Spain's coach, Vicente Del Bosque, probably the most, well-recognized international soccer coach. That Spain team won like 3 international tournaments in a row. Never been done before, will never be done again. That's a World Cup and 2 Euros. That's just something that's off the charts. I know it's a different sport, just comparisons. When you look at what, some of the man management, it's off the charts, Mark. Some of these coaches are basically head coaches in their positions. Joe Sloan, the quarterbacks, he runs that room. That's his room. And first day of spring, man, he was getting after him, Mark. He was intense. He was in their face, lighting them up, showing what he wanted, demanding. Then you got Cortez Hankton, who does it a very different way. Very cool, very calm, very collected, very chill. But at the same time, intense. Knows what he wants and not afraid to get in there. Robert Steeples, someone who's more of an inspirational figure. This man, I feel like, has the right minerals to step in to Corey Raymond's shoes because of just those those values that he has, those character qualities that he has. That's the thing is LSU littered this staff with high character people. Someone you're not going to hear a lot about, someone who's not going to be talked about on Saturdays, but Dr. Arnold. Dr. Arnold, basically the team psychologist in a way, Mark. This guy, what he does for these young men, what he does for this team to develop them as people, I feel like is what LSU needed to take that next step, Mark, as a program. Especially the guys who are superstars who are, coming from the transition from the Orgeron era, the Keyshawn Booties of the world, B.J. Ojolari, Ali Gay, Malik Neighbors, Jack Besh. The list goes on and on. John Emery Jr. So many of these superstars, but what were they lacking? What were any of these guys? You could argue some of these guys weren't lacking anything. But there was a lot of players on this team who really were never cut out to be on a Brian Kelly staff, and that's why they're not there. And I feel like LSU made a great clean break there. As for not just like a PR thing, not just a Band-Aid thing, but actually really trying to change the culture at the university, within the football program. And I feel like they've done that. They've been active in the community, Mark. That's something I was, seeing clear back all through the winter, all through spring. I asked some players about that in spring as well. Just a lot of activism in the schools from these players. Just you're seeing them go that extra mile. Who knows if it will develop into wins? But I just got to say, this staff, I love the direction they're going in, and I feel like it will. I feel like it will pay off. Whether it does in 2022, that's something we'll see. But I feel like what I've seen Brian Kelly evolve, how he's evolved from spring till now, how he's kind of like, this is his program. He went through the gauntlet of SEC media days. He took all the questions, how he's dancing, doing all the stuff, and he took all the punches on the chin that he could. Now it's just about coaching football, and I feel like all the bullshit's out of the way, and he can just like focus on coaching football, putting the right quarterback, in the right offense to lead this team to a national championship, having Matt House put the right defense on the field to lead this team to a national championship defense. That's just Brian Polian repairing the special teams, which is something we really have to talk about as well, to a national championship level, which might be really hard to do. That's something that Kelly is now focused on that. And there's nothing really in the way. There's no drama for once at LSU. There's no more opt-outs left and right, one after another. It's a good time for LSU where we can just focus on the football on the field, the players who are going to play the football, and it's really basic, really really boring stuff of just actually playing football for once. And Mark, it's a pleasure to actually just be covering football.
Yeah, it seems like forever we've been talking about transfer portal, NIL, realignment, playoff proposals, expansion, contraction, all of that. We talk about all this because actually at some point guys get on a field and start playing football. That's why we talk about all this. So yes, it's refreshing to talk about football and know it's just around the corner. I believe we're looking at 31 days until that opening Saturday, 24 days for a team like Florida State that actually gets a game before LSU and taking on Duquesne. So 24 days until week 0. And then, of course, LSU and Florida State on a Sunday night at the Superdome.